This week's progress has included working on modeling some new produce plants. I have the base one here. I started with the tomato that goes through all three of these stages. So if we turn this one off and turn on the middle stage here, we can see the in-between and then the final stage. And then I went through, made sure this worked in game, and then implemented that across to other ones. So I have a strawberry I've made with the base stage. If we turn that off, we have the in-between stage and then the final stage here. So that way we can have different versions of things to harvest and then implement other ones later on in the game, as well as add-ons in the shop, so the players have something to work towards. And then these are the other ones as well with this. We turn this off, we have in between, and then the final here for carrots, and then a apple tree as well. All of this was just modeled right in Maya, and then some of the leaves were taken into ZBrush just to help kind of make them feel a bit more organic. And then there's the final stage for the tree. All of it's pretty simple, so it doesn't take up a lot of texture space once I got them applied, or just geometry in general. And then if we hop back into Unity, we can see those implemented once I hit play. And there we go. And if we make this full-sized, we can see all four different versions of the beds pop up. Each of these colors represents just a different produce type. So if we hit the watering interaction here, this will gray itself out. This bar up here is going to represent our energy bar at the meantime until I get it a bit more clear texture-wise. So if we click on something right now, it's not going to let us water because there is nothing to water. If we switch to seed mode, it'll let us plant those because these are base trees that are empty. And then if we click back to the water button, there's something to water now, so this will be selectable. This energy bar is going to go down. And then we can move on to the new day, and that'll transfer into each of the stages. And then if we try to plant anything again, it's not going to let us because they're already taken up by a space. And then we can go back to watering, and it will trigger through the different stages of growth. One of the implementations that will be next is getting a little UI to pop up, so we know how many days the plant has been planted for and how many days is left until it reaches the final growth stage, because right now it's hard to tell sometimes what stage it's at. And these are all set to the same growth cycle of 1 day to plant and then 2 days to reach full maturity. And we'll mix those up as well. And then there's a few issues with colliders that I just need to work on, or be mindful about how I array this into like a garden layout. Because this tree collider goes all the way up to the top, it blocks off this back corner, so you kind of have to know where it ends and click around it. But you can see this bar start to go down, and this will be another thing I'll implement and kind of work towards, which is real-time recharge rate. So it references the player preferences, so it'll clock when the player exited the game out, and then once the player returns to the game, it'll reference what that date is, and then subtract from them, and then add in the represented amount of energy while they were gone back into the bar. That way as well, I can implement either like pay or free ads, or like pay to get energy back, and that'll help kind of things feel a bit more game-like. So once I get that done, I think the next stage from there is just working on the shop system and then the backpack system as well. So that'll be where the player can select the seed button, and it'll pop up a couple different version types of what they have. They can go to the shop and buy more. And then access this inventory button too to pop up their backpack to see how many seeds they have, what different produce types they've harvested, and just kind of keep better track of object management through that. So those are kind of what's coming up, and then we'll see what else kind of pops up along the way that I think should be implemented, or what neat features we could write down for a later update as well.